He was the perfect family man, until the day he showed up at his lover's house with a gun, a devoted husband, a coal miner, and a father. But behind closed doors, Jared Ellis lived a dangerous double life. What happened in that basement would shock the entire town of Belden. And this story only gets darker from here. Stay with us. Jared Ellis, 30, appeared to be the embodiment of loyalty and sacrifice. A devoted husband and stepfather, he lived in the unassuming town of Belden, Ohio, with his wife Natalie and their blended family. To those around him, Jared was the kind of man people trusted, stoic, dependable, and hardworking. He had taken a job as a coal miner, not out of passion, but of necessity. The dangerous, exhausting work offered stability, a steady paycheck, and the means to support the people he loved. Friends, neighbors, and co-workers often praised Jared for stepping up and being a father to children who weren't biologically his. But beneath this quiet heroism, Jared harbored a secret that would eventually unravel everything. Among Jared's few close friends was Elijah Monroe, a charismatic, free-spirited man in his early 30s. Elijah had once made a name for himself as a hairstylist before switching careers and joining Jared in the coal mines. His sudden transition from salons to shafts raised eyebrows, but Elijah never cared for small-town whispers. He was openly gay, a bold stance in conservative Belden, and surprisingly, he became a cherished part of the Ellis household. Jared's children adored him, affectionately calling him Uncle Eli, and Natalie appreciated his warmth and sense of humor. Their bond seemed wholesome to the outside world, the kind of friendship that overcame societal norms. But what no one saw was that Jared and Elijah shared something deeper, something forbidden in the eyes of their small community. Their friendship masked an illicit, passionate affair that had blossomed behind closed doors. While Jared publicly upheld the image of the family man, he was emotionally and physically entangled with Elijah, a relationship he kept hidden at all costs. And as time went on, Elijah began to grow tired of the shadows. Elijah had reached a breaking point. Tired of the secrecy, he began pressuring Jared to tell his wife, Natalie, the truth and come out publicly. He wanted to live authentically, to stop sneaking around and hiding what they truly meant to each other. Jared, however, was cornered by fear. He had built his life around the idea of responsibility, loyalty, and fatherhood, the idea of destroying his family, shaming himself in a town that would not be kind, and losing everything he worked so hard to build was unbearable. The pressure mounted, and Jared began to unravel. In his mind, the life he led was on the brink of collapse, and with every ultimatum from Elijah, the walls closed in tighter. On the 7th of May, 2017, the day everything changed, Jared, Natalie, and their young daughter drove to Elijah's house to return a weed trimmer he had loaned them. It was a simple errand, or so it seemed, but when they arrived, the house stood silent. The front door went unanswered. Natalie noticed the service entrance hanging slightly ajar. Cautiously, they stepped inside. The home was in disarray, items strewn across the floor, furniture appended. It looked like a burglary, but something felt off. Jared led the way down to the basement. The air was heavy and still, and there at the bottom of the stairs, in a chilling pool of blood, lay Elijah. He had been shot, twice in the back of the head. Natalie screamed and immediately called 911. At first, authorities suspected a possible suicide, but a missing weapon and the precise execution-style wounds told a darker story. This wasn't self-inflicted. This was a hit. As detectives began piecing together the crime scene, the image of Jared, the upstanding family man, began to fracture. He had presented himself as a grieving friend, visibly shaken by Elijah's death. But the deeper investigators looked, the more inconsistencies they found. Surveillance footage showed Jared using Natalie's car earlier that same afternoon, visiting Elijah's home without telling anyone. Deleted text messages between the two men hinted at rising tensions and emotional turbulence. Jared, it turned out, had gone to Elijah's house alone before returning with his family later to stage the discovery. Further damning evidence emerged when a relative of Elijah's came forward. Elijah had told them he was expecting someone named DJ that day, someone he had grown close to. DJ, investigators later confirmed, was Jared's alias in a hidden chat app. The perfect mask. Jared's version of events shifted repeatedly. He claimed there had been a fight. He mentioned a gun. Then he blamed an unknown man. Each new detail contradicted the last. But the forensic trail didn't lie. The fatal shots were fired from behind. No struggle, no defense. Clean, cold, calculated. Detectives also found a used condom at the crime scene. At first, this discovery threw the case into uncertainty. DNA analysis revealed the sample didn't match Jared. Was someone else involved? Was this a love triangle gone wrong? But as the investigation evolved, the condom became less a clue of an alternate suspect and more a symbol of the chaos and recklessness that had surrounded the secret affair. Hold up. Before we dive any deeper, just one quick favor. Kindly subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We want to hit 1,000 subscribers before July, and we're just a few steps away from it. You could be the one to help us cross that line. This channel is growing thanks to amazing people like you, and trust me, what's coming next is something you don't want to miss. On the 7th of July, just 2 months after Elijah's body was found, authorities arrested Jared Ellis. He was charged with first-degree murder. During the trial, Jared appeared hollowed, emotionally spent. He offered apologies to Elijah's family, but the words rang hollow. The judge, unmoved, described the act as deliberate and premeditated. Jared hadn't snapped. He had planned. He had staged the discovery. He had attempted to manipulate the narrative. And worst of all, he had extinguished a life to protect a lie. In February 2018, Jared was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. As the cell door closed behind him, so too did the life he had spent years trying to protect, a life built on appearances, sacrifice, and denial. He remains incarcerated to this day, a tragic testament to how secrets, fear, and shame can metamorph into violence. What began as a love hidden from view ended in betrayal and bloodshed. In the town of Belden, Ohio, the name Jared Ellis now serves not as a symbol of sacrifice, but as a chilling reminder of how far a man will go to keep his truth buried. Thanks for staying with us to the end of this gripping story. If you found this true crime case as chilling and thought-provoking as we did, please like, share, and subscribe to support the channel. It helps more than you know. And if you'd like to go the extra mile and help keep the channel running, consider buying us a coffee. You'll find a link in the description below. Every bit goes a long way in bringing you more real, raw, and unforgettable true crime stories. Until next time, stay safe, stay curious, and never stop seeking the truth.